Alright, so I got a few questions on how to build something like this 3D relief beach wreath. So I figured I'd do a video in CARVECO Maker, and and we're gonna build something similar to this guy, eagle, bear. I think I've got a squirrel, some deer, fish maybe, and then yeah, I'll show you how I would carve it and build it. Cool. So let's get started. So we'll open up a session of CARVECO Maker. I just did 18 by 18. The first thing I do is I draw a circle for my for kind of reference, and I center it. This one I made 7 inches, and we'll just kind of like make it so we can have something to kind of go off of, so we keep it kind of round-ish anyway. Cool. I don't need to delete that guy. So next, under the CARVECO Relief Art library, I have a lot of them saved. There's also stuff that they provide to you. Some of these models that I'll use today were provided, but some of them I've purchased or received one way or another. So cool. Let's when you go ahead and add these from the relief library, they are this blue color, and it allows you to move it around, and it has a few more options, whereas if you just import an STL file, you don't have much option to move it around like this. So coming from the relief library is a much easier way of doing things. Cool. So and I'm gonna actually show you how to get something. You kind of got to trick the program. These are all technically RLF files, but there is a way to get models in here so that they appear blue. So I'm gonna show you. So if we go to relief, I'm gonna open up a new session to show you. It's kind of a trick, but it does work quite well. Cool. So then we'll go relief, import 3D model, and we'll navigate to a let's go CNC. How about seagull? I don't even know. Let's go sea turtle. There we go. All right, cool. Let's center it, and this is what it shows. It comes up as, and we'll kind of size this down. Cool. Make sure it's on the same plane. It's definitely a little bit of a workaround, because if you save it like this and it's way above, then when you import it, it's going to, when you put it in the CARVECO Relief Art library, this is what it's going to look like, and you're going to have to mess with it a little bit more. But for now, I like to put all my models on the 0 plane for when I'm putting them into the relief library. So that looks good to me. And we will just paste this down and close that out. So now I can't move this around at all. So we'll go ahead and save as, and I've already got it. I can't remember. Oh, I put it in the beaches one. Maybe I didn't. Anyway. Oh, there it is, sea turtle. Okay, so I put it in. Say I named it. We'll name it sea turtle, and then you'll save it. Okay, close that. Close that. Now, when I go ahead and go into my relief library, and we can see that I've saved it, and there it is. And now we can manipulate it a little bit easier than just having a regular STL file. Yeah, it's much easier to move around, and you don't have to use like X, Y, Z coordinates and things like that. So that's just a little bit of a trick to get your STL file in the relief library. Cool. So let's get started building this this wreath. Let's start with, let's pull a bear in. I'm gonna just pull a bunch of models in, and then we can kind of play around with it after that. How about this deer? And you can kind of rotate them and do whatever the heck you want with them, but I'm gonna go ahead and flip this guy. You can use this mirror objects and go ahead and flip it around, because when they're face to butt, it just doesn't appear. I'm not a huge fan of it. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. And then let's import, how about an eagle? And I just kind of want to get things moving along, and then I'll show you how I merge everything together in a second. And then I've got a squirrel in here somewhere. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that guy around. And like I said, you're going to have to play around with this a little bit and see what works for you. I might move the deer out of here. That looks kind of cool. And if you had Maker Plus, there's so many more options to messing around with this stuff, and you can really customize how you fit things and mesh them all together. It's a lot smoother than it is in Maker. How about another? But fish. Oh, down here. And over here is where you can mess with the height of the object, the Z, and then I'll show you how we can play with that and the level at which they appear and how we're going to merge them all together. How about we'll go next to a fish. How about another eagle? Eagle's got a lot of detail. It's going to take forever to carve. but it's gonna look cool, so who cares? While I'm doing this, we can talk a little bit about Leighton has done a video on Relief Art Library, and it will describe all of these pretty well. I'm not going to try and describe each one of them, but he does a really good job, and I would highly recommend giving that a watch if you haven't already. Just like that there. How about I'll move this over just like that. Let's go ahead and put another bear in there. About really not a huge fan of this deer. It's got the legs are like so long that it just kind of, I don't know, it's just like awkward in there, right? How about take another squirrel. And you just press the T key for transform, and you can move things around. Or it'll bring up this transform tool. A little different than what the vector one looks like, but nonetheless the same stuff. We need one more. What do we use? I also thought it would be cool to kind of like put trees in between each one of them. We've been playing around with a couple different ideas, but kind of endless possibilities, and I keep acquiring more and more of these models. It's kind of excessive, honestly. I need one more. Let's cool. Okay, let's leave it at that, just for these purposes. I might go ahead and flip that around. Let's flip that around. Cool. Okay. So let's start. So this, let's look at it at an angle here. The squirrel, I saved it a little bit high when I did the same thing as I did with the sea turtle here, so it looks okay, but it's about 1 inch tall, and we need to tell that we don't want it to be that tall. So let's start with the squirrel. So let's select it, press the T key, and you can see here that right now it's 0.93 tall, and then so let's make that like 0.8, and I unlocked it so it doesn't change the size of it either. So that should be a little bit shorter. And then we need to, I don't want it to be this like flat on the edges. So let's go ahead and kind of dumb it down a little bit. So we said it was 0.8 tall. If we so it's 0.8 tall. So I want it to be like 0.3. Let's say 0.3 total. Let's say 0.35. So I want this below the Z plane. So let's say minus 0.45. And I pretty much always use merge high for this. Watch Layton's video; he'll explain to you a little bit more about the each of these. But we'll go into it a little bit. But for the most part, I'm going to use merge high. Cool. And the important thing here is you've got the undo key. Yeah, that's a little bit low. So let's do minus 0.25. There we go. That looks pretty good to me. All right. Let's see. The bear face and the squirrel face might give us some problems here. Let's see if we can't alleviate it. Let's make this look okay. We want them to be connected, but it'd be cool if we can see both of them still. How about, that doesn't look terrible. That's not bad. Let's just leave it at that for now. Alright, so the bear is 0.4. If we just paste it down like it is, let's see what it looks like. That doesn't look bad. Cool. And keep going around the circle. I'm going to leave the deer probably like it is. It's pretty high. How high is the fish? Kind of got to go back and forth a little bit. Yeah, the fish is going to get, maybe not, because it's on the deer leg. Let's make the deer a little bit. We don't need to be almost half an inch. 0.3. 3.5. Looks okay. Let's make the fish like 0.3. And then we can do the same thing we did with the squirrel and make it a little bit high. We'll make it higher this time. Let's say 0.1. And you can't really see it. I wish it gave you a live preview of it, but it doesn't. But I just did 0.1 from the 0 plane, and then it moves it up about 0.1. So cool. And we'll do the eagle. Eagle to me looks, we don't need that high. 0.45. I want a lot of detail, but I don't want too much. It'll take too long for this thing to carve. Yeah, that looks okay. So let me show you what, let's paste it with add. see how it adds it. It adds it to the top of the fishtail, and then so it looks, it like kind of blends all the vectors together. I'm not a huge fan of that. Where'd my go? There we go. Yeah, so I just use merge high. Subtract will clear everything that's merged out or touching out. I don't know why you would actually use that. Where'd my... Interesting, my vector. My clip art went away. Interesting. I don't exactly know what happened. Anyway, let's go ahead and get a new one in there. I'll play around with that later. Interesting. I don't know where. Or why. Interesting. Okay, we're just gonna leave it at that. I don't know. I don't really understand what exactly just happened. Maybe there's some sort of glitch. I'll actually talk to support about that. But anyway, for now, I'll just leave it like that. That looks good. Kind of go around, speed this up a little bit, and bear looks good to me. Same thing with the squirrel we did on the other side. We're gonna have to kind of make it a little bit lower on the Z plane here. Let's say minus 0.25. That looks pretty good. The eagle looks good. Let's go a little bit. Like 6.5. And the deer looks good. Cool. So now everything is kind of connected. We can get rid of this little circle here. I accidentally cut this squirrel tail off, but that's okay. We're just messing with it. The next thing I do is create a vector around the border or boundary. So vector, create relief boundary, and then this box pops up. Create boundary. Cool. That looks good to me. So I like to do a profile pass on the inside of this and get all of that out of there. It also created a lot of little tiny vectors. I don't really know why, but it did. So we will go ahead and I might get rid of a lot of those really little ones because it's not going to get them anyway. So we'll go ahead and profile. I'm going to carve this out of a piece that's like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. So let's say, so the top of my relief is 0.65. if I want to do this out of a 3/4 inch piece, it's gonna have this much underneath on the bottom side. So it'll just be a little bit thicker than it needs to be. So, or it'll be a little bit thicker than the highest point on the model. So we'll call this, let's say, profile inside. And then ramping moves, smooth, 0.75 on the inside, and let's do that with an 1/8 inch bit. Cool. And we can calculate that. Cool. And we'll do the same thing with the outside. Toolpath, profile, outside. All right, cool. And next thing we need to do is the relief, obviously. So I select this guy, and we'll go relief, machine relief toolpath. Selected vectors inside. I like to use a 16th inch tapered ball mill. And then we can rough it out. Let's just say 1/4 inch end mill. The one thing I like to do when using a tapered ball mill especially is a profile pass, and this will do a profile pass around this whole thing during the relief. So I think this is important when using a tapered ball mill because it is a 1/16 of an inch, but it's tapered to up to a 1/4 of an inch, and I think I've had problems when the shaft of the bit hits the edge. So if I do a profile pass, it's not going to cut the whole thing out, but will cut away so that the shaft doesn't hit the wall of the wood. Anyway, so I always like to do a profile pass during the roughing portion. Cool. And we can go ahead and say relief. So you're going to notice that it's going to do this whole thing. I know I did a profile pass on that inside. I don't know a way to do it otherwise, honestly. If I could only, I'm going to try something actually. This is going to be an experiment for the both of us. So we'll just let that calculate. This is going to take a little while. It's definitely going to take probably, I don't know, this probably be 7, 8, 10 hour carve. But it'll be really cool in the end. And that's all that matters, right? Cool. Oh, it's still calculating. All right, cool. So you see it did that relief on the entire thing, and I am wondering, I wonder if I group them. So let's just do a quick, I'm going to turn that off. I wonder if I group these two vectors. Why didn't it select these two? Group. I wonder if. Let's do an experiment. We're gonna confuse the machine. I know it. My whole computer's gonna crash now. I'm really afraid, actually. Or it's gonna machine the outside because it has two. I have no idea what's gonna happen right now. I hope it just machines the inside of it. That would be awesome. Dun dun dun. Yeah, let me know. We're almost done here. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions or need something explained a little bit better. But I think these are kind of cool, and there's kind of endless possibilities. I did the one with the flowers. Yeah, honestly, anything sports themed. You can make a clock out of this. That would be kind of cool. Maybe don't cut that profile path. Yes, it did work. Look at that. Nice. You learned something new. Look at that. Y'all made me do this video, and awesome. That's what we come up with. Gosh, that's gonna save so much time. Oh my gosh. It's still gonna take 8 hours, but I bet you, because look at this, all this extra space it would have machined. Awesome. Let's simulate that. Cool, cool. All right. How about this keep pick. Oh damn! What did it do? Why did it do that? Sorry. Let me like 30 seconds here. I probably. Oh, I know what it did. Edit. I selected inside instead of outside, and it chopped everything off. Cool. All right, awesome. Simulate. Let's delete some material. There you go. And how about let's look at the inlaid oak. Bam. There you go. Now you got a pretty cool wreath. It's about almost an inch thick. I think the squirrel I should have made a little bit thinner. But you know, you live and you learn. Yeah, let me know what you think. Definitely spend more time on it and moving models around, get it to look exactly how you want it to, because it's gonna carve. And you know what, if you don't like it, then remake it or make one, and then if you don't like it or the wife doesn't like it, sell it and make another one. Let me know what you think. I've got a link down below to Layton's Relief Library tutorial, and also a CARVECO affiliate link. If you enjoy this video and want some more videos like it, let me know. Cool. And give me some recommendations for other videos as well. I'm happy to entertain them. Thanks, everybody.